Hello everyone, welcome back to J Talks Boxing. I'm joined with Harry as always, and the incredible actor, boxer, part of the Jamie Moore stable, Alfie Middlemiss. Alfie, how are you today, mate?
I'm great, mate. Really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm brilliant, mate. Thanks for asking. Let's start with boxing. So, Alfie, you had a good eight-rounder your last fight against Lewis Morris. Do you think you're more set to them eight-rounders now compared to previous sixes and fours?
Yeah, 100%. I'm on a high at the moment. My momentum's really good, and I'm looking to stay active and keep building on that last performance. I think I've always said it as the rounds go on, as the rounds increase, you'll see the best of me. I know I've got a good engine, and I'm just improving all the time in the gym. I'm building loads of different styles to my game. And I thought you saw that in my last fight. Do you know what I mean? I had to adjust a little bit in that first round. Then I started coming forward, working the body, and I showed a different side to my game. So I think as these fights sort of unfold, 8, 10 rounders, you're going to see the best of me.
Like I said, eight-rounder last time out. You know, um, it's been a quick build, I think. How
Yeah.
7-0 is going to be the next one? Seven fights next, is it?
Yeah, seventh fight, next one, mate. Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of fighters are still in them six rounders at this stage. Did you really want to speed up quickly? Is that the aim from the start?
Yeah, of course. Listen, I didn't want to be fighting people who are coming to spoil and coming to hold. A lot of journeymen are there to survive, and it's difficult to get them out of them and to look impressive. Do you know what I mean? So I always thought someone who comes firing back and someone who comes with an intention to win, you're going to see the best of me because it'll leave more openings for them shots. And I think you saw that in my last fight. Morris came to win. He was game and he spoke a lot beforehand and he was very confident. But I think that offered more opportunities to me. And I think you saw the best of me in that last performance.
You've got a show coming out on BBC One or BBC iPlayer. Is it what tomorrow
Yeah,
it comes
mate.
out?
Yeah. Yeah, Dear England. It comes out tonight on BBC One at 9 o'clock. It was a series I was in last summer about the England football team, and yeah, it's super exciting. It should be big before the World Cup. Hopefully, it's a good omen for England to go and do it this year. But fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, it was a great experience with some top lads, and I'm looking forward to everyone seeing it tonight.
So with your boxing, you box as well as act. If people didn't know, how would you
Yeah.
balance out the two? It must be quite difficult.
Yeah, of course, it's difficult, no doubt. But like I said before, boxing is my main priority. It's my main focus. I've always said that's my main career. But last time I boxed in July, and then straight after I went into filming for Dear England, so it was sort of perfect timing. Do you know what I mean? It worked at the right sort of moment. So listen, I can't turn down roles like that. Those are massive opportunities for me, and yeah, I'm balancing it both well at the moment. But obviously, you have to make sacrifices down the line. But at this moment in time, it's working in tandem really well.
So you're part of the Jamie Moore gym. You've got great fighters in there, Dave Allen, future world champions in Pat Brown and Conor Walker. Being
Yeah.
surrounded by such fighters and a brilliant training team, surely that builds your career up lovely.
Oh, 100%, mate. Listen, you've got to be around people who are, you know, more experienced and more, better than you at that moment in time so you can learn, so you can improve. You don't want to be the best in your own environment. So listen, I take loads of different things from every style in the gym. Do you know what I mean? Pat's a monster at the moment, he's knocking everyone out, and Conor Walker's, he's in fun fights, entertaining fights every time, and he's knocking on the door for a world title. So listen, the gym's thriving at the moment. I'm picking the brains of all the fighters and learning so much. And I think you can see that in my own style. The way I've been improving over this last year is down to the team I've got around me completely.
Yeah, so um, your family are more actors. Your dad was an is it Coronation Street? It was a Coronation
Yeah,
Street legend
Coronation
for
Street,
you.
mate. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So how comes I've read articles where you said you've picked boxing. Why was boxing the sport you chose to do?
Yeah, look, so listen, my whole family have been involved in acting since I was a young kid. I did acting when I was a kid. I was in a few commercials in Emmerdale, Morrison's, and loads of different stuff. But I've always been a super competitive kid at anything that I do. Do you know what I mean? I've tried loads of different sports, whether it be football, cricket, everything you can imagine. I've played, but boxing sort of came to me at the right time. All the pressure's on you, all the expectations are on you. And as soon as I walked in the gym, I sort of fell in love with the game. And I don't think you can get that adrenaline rush from anything else. You know what I mean? That feeling when you're in the ring is something special. And yeah, like I said, boxing is my one true love.
Yeah, we had a man very well fight last night in Jack Cattrall, former stablemate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good performance overall. Obviously, you saw the ins and outs of Jack Cattrall before. Yeah, how
Yeah.
far do you think he's come in the last even 12 months? I think.
Listen, Jack's a fantastic fighter, and it was great to have him in the gym and great to learn so much from him. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm really happy for him that he got the job done last night. Do you know what I mean? He was robbed in that first world title fight with Josh Taylor, which I thought he won pretty clearly. But this is the opportunity that he deserved, and I thought he boxed really well last night against a good operator. I think that Giasov was a former Olympic medalist and world amateur champion. So, yeah, it's a good win, really good win for him. And I'd like to see him in them big fights now, whether that be against Rowley or whoever. So finally, he's knocking on the door for them big opportunities, and yeah, I'm really happy for him.
I don't know if you saw the Usyk fight. As a fighter yourself, was it an early stoppage? Was it? I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, of course. I think Usyk, he's a fantastic operator and he's amazing for everything that he's done. He'll go down as an all-time great, but I thought he looked really flat last night. I thought he couldn't get out of that first gear. I don't know whether that was to do with Rico being so unorthodox, but it just looked like he couldn't get going. It didn't look like he had his feet moving on. You didn't see them angles, them sharp head movements that he usually does. But listen, he found a way, didn't he? He got the job done at the end of the day. I did think it was maybe an early stoppage, especially in a heavyweight title fight like that. You'd like to see him go on and see the 12th round, especially as the bell was just about to go. But listen, it's good for boxing that Usyk won, and I'm happy for him. I'm sure Rico will come back. He showed last night that he's made for that stage, isn't it? So yeah, I'd like to see the rematch down the road. Who knows?
Rematch Caballero, one of them, so I'll be fine with. So,
Either one of them.
in January, you officially signed with Matchroom Boxing.
Yep.
Um, I don't know if you remember, chanting for it on TikTok, begging them to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think, it's been a long time coming for you to sign for a Matchroom at Queensbury, or, was it just kind of naturally happens and
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate that, mate, very much. But obviously, like it's been a dream of mine since a kid to sign for Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn. You sort of have these aspirations as a young kid to get into boxing, to be with one of the best promoters in the world. So, like I said, that was a dream come true for me. But I believe in my ability, and I believe in the team around me, and I believe that with Matchroom, I can go to the top and keep building my profile, keep winning, and I feel like I'll shine under them bright lights and on the biggest stage.
yeah, we'll go back to your gym now. You've got
Yeah,
people like Dave Allen in there and that.
yeah, yeah,
With
yeah.
fighters like Dave, they're great laughs to have around the gym. They always asked on Matchroom fight weeks, who's the hardest worker, who's the most powerful puncher.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
who in the gym is someone you look at and you go, how do they do it? How are they that good? How are they?
I think, do you know what? I never really have that sort of mindset with anything because I believe that, I can get to that level myself. But of course, you have admirations of certain, aspects of different fighters. Conor Walker, his toughness and how determined he is in the ring, his work ethic as well is amazing. And then you got Pat Brown, who's a devastating puncher. You know what I mean? And yeah, you just take things from every single fighter in the gym. There's so many different styles and different fighters with different attributes. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's great as a young fighter like myself to pick it up and learn different things from them.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but you're getting into the older generations now. My dad's close to 50. I told him about this interview and he was buzzing to hear it. You're going to have
Oh
fans up
man,
and down the country. We're from down in Suffolk. Is
great.
this what you kind of wanted? A massive fan base that gets you big fights?
Yeah, nah, of course. Listen, I bring huge fans every time that I come to my fight. They're more like family and friends to me, to be honest with you, and they've supported me since my first fight. So it's always a special night, especially when it's back in Manchester and I can, see them all, especially cheering and chanting. They make such great noise, and then after the fight, it's great to see them all. And listen, I would be nothing without the support around me and my family and friends. They're the reason that I'm in this position today. So. Yeah, of course, down the road, I want to just keep building my fan base. And I think this Dear England, maybe it brings another audience to the box and you don't know, do you know what I mean? So it's all about building your profile and building that fan base and hopefully being some mega fights in the future.
I first heard of you during the was it Joe Joyce Hergovich? You're on that card, weren't you? Was it the
Yeah, I was
heavy
on that
impact fight?
card, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I've started hearing from you then. I hear about this actor turned boxer. I was very interested to see what was going to come out. In my eyes, it could have been one of the Misfits fighters. You know what I mean? How their
Yeah,
influences
yeah,
coming
yeah,
over.
yeah.
But it definitely wasn't that.
Oh,
It was a genuine, determined amateur boxer making it into pro ranks. Did
thank you, mate.
when coming into that fight week, and when the fight got announced, did you notice at all people saying, "Oh, he's just an actor," or he's just, you know what I mean, someone's son
Yeah,
that.
listen, like especially in my last fight, my opponent, even though I've got a lot of respect for him after the fight, was saying, go he just had to go back to Waterloo Road, certain things like that. And people may think, oh, I've seen comments that people say he's a gimmick, or do you know what I mean? He can't be a part-timer in this game, but trust me when I say that I'm one of the most dedicated kids that you could meet. Like I'm super focused in the gym, one of the hardest workers, and boxing is my life. Acting is just another avenue that I pursue as well, and that is a part of my life. And I think it'd go hand in hand with the boxing. But I'm one of the hardest workers you can meet, and I'm super determined to reach the top in this boxing game. And listen, whatever people have to say, it doesn't really bother me. It's all noise, and I like to prove people wrong, and I like to show what I'm capable of. And I think you'll definitely see that, especially in these big fights in the future.
Yeah, so we let Harry ask a question, non-boxing fan. But my last
Yeah,
question to you
crack.
is, have you got any fight news coming up? We didn't see too long ago, but
Yeah.
we love seeing you fight over here. We're massive fans. Like I said, you were one of the first fighters we reached out to, so we just want to know, got any more fight news?
Yeah, mate, I'm just literally waiting on getting my fight news sorted out. Pat Brown's fighting Hedges for the British title, and I think that could be up my ends in Manchester, and hopefully looking to get on that card, whether it be August, September time. So yeah, just building and working in the gym, and then waiting on getting that fight confirmed, and I can lock into camp and get ready for that one.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen the interviews before, but we've got a little segment. We let Harry knows nothing about boxing, but he like helps me with the filming, so I let him involved. He's
Sound,
going
let's
to
do
ask
it. Let's
you,
do it.
a general question, just get him involved.
No problem.
All right. My question for you
Yes, mate.
today is, would you rather win boxing world champion, like big dreams, or would you rather
Yeah.
win like an Oscar for your acting skills?
Oof, that's a difficult question, mate. That's a difficult question. My dream is to win a world title. Is definitely to win a world title. I think that's been my dream since a kid, and that's my main aspiration is to lift that world title. I think that would be a special moment in my life. But winning an Oscar would be something else, wouldn't it? So who knows? Maybe a bit of both. We'll have to see what roles come up in the future. But yeah, world title I'd take.
All right, Alfie, it was brilliant having you on today. I'm going to go watch my West Ham team get relegated, but it was lovely having you on.
Hey,
So,
you never know. You never know. You never know what can happen on these days. You never know. Anything can happen on the last day of the season, and hopefully you can do it. I'd like to see Spurs get relegated anyway.
I'd love it. All right, thanks
Right,
for coming
boys.
on today, Alfie. We're massive fans of you, and we hope you smash it in the rest of your career.
Oh, top man. Been a pleasure, lads. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, yeah?
Thanks,
Thank
lads.
you, you too.